Give me your evaluation of your season from last year, straight from your eyes and your perspective.
Yeah, overall, I felt like I did some good things last year, but I'll just sum it up. It was good, but not good enough. I think there's a lot of learning experiences that I had from last year, just going through everything as a first-time starter that I'm looking forward to building on going into the season, and I've been building on throughout spring ball. So, overall, I did some good things last year, but there's a lot that I could still improve upon.
No doubt.
So I kind of want to take you said you learned some things that you wanted to build upon this spring. What are some of the specific things that you kind of came into this spring wanting to improve on, whether it be on the field with your play or leadership-wise?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was leadership-wise and just being myself and not trying to be anybody who I'm not. Obviously, like, I'm not the most vocal guy in the world. I'm still working on that because you have to be that as a quarterback. But I think just letting my, like, competitive side and my emotional side come out a little bit more this year, especially in spring ball, like just talking with the offensive players and when we're going against the defense, talking to them too, talking trash because we got a bunch of defensive players that love to do that, especially up on the D-line.
They always do.
Yeah, but I think just being more myself and, like, really coming out of my shell, something that I probably didn't do much my first year at all, and even last year to some extent. So I think that's the biggest thing I've been working on.
So let's talk about that a little bit. I think we all can attest to this. Working on the craft is easy, like the fundamentals, the techniques, throwing routes, timing, all that stuff. That's like you've been doing that since you were little with your buddies, your brothers, whatever. I feel like the mental side is something that is oftentimes very overlooked. And you talk about it. You came in here, you had Sean, you got to see a great example of a guy who'd been through highs, lows, all those things, get some playing time under your belt while he was here. What specifically do you feel has been the hardest part of that, right? Like you said, the competitive side, letting yourself show. I'm sure that you've never had to do that in the past in terms of like try to focus on that. How do you balance that? Because I think that's a unique question, and I think it's something that, like I said, the average fan oftentimes overlooks, but you got to win over an entire locker room.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance thing because you can be as emotional as you want, but if you're letting it distract you from your play on the field, then you're not doing your job out on the field. Like the first thing is you have to go out and perform and execute your job, and then if anything else happens after, like, then just let that flow. But I think it's definitely a balance, and the mental side is the biggest thing, especially in the college level. Like, there's so many different variations of defense you can see. Obviously, we go against a great defense every day, and there's a lot more disguising of coverages, go against a lot older and smarter players, like especially on the back end, like Jalen Reed, KJ Winston. Like, our safety room is really good, and they're really good at disguising a lot of things. So I think it's just every day, just, taking it a day at a time and just focusing on like our 1% goals that we have on our offense. And I think that has been a big emphasis for me, just, trying to focus on a couple areas going into each practice, and then, just reflecting on if I did those things or if I didn't do those things and what I can do to achieve those goals that I have.